My friends, a voice of mercy calls in our days, the maternal tenderness of the Virgin Mary and the steadfast guardianship of St. Michael. It is for this moment. If your heart has felt the tremor of these times, if the news leaves you restless, if you sense that history is leaning into a crossroads, then receive this as a gentle but serious invitation. Tonight, we will not feed fear. We will awaken faith. We will read the signs of the times with the Church, and we will trace a safe, hopeful path for souls and families who desire to stand firm when the winds rise. The aim is simple: clarity over confusion, peace over panic, trust over turmoil. Why does it matter? Because to ignore heaven's call is to risk a slow dimming of the inner lamp, even while the world stays noisy and bright. But to listen, patiently, prayerfully, to the end, opens a way forward. Light for the next step, concrete practices for your home, and courage to keep love alive in difficult days. This episode is a beacon, not a siren. Heaven calls, we remain free to respond. I have set before you life and death, therefore choose life. So remain with me. Pray as you listen. Share this with someone who needs hope. Above all, remember, you are not alone. The Lord says, "Fear not, for I am with you. I will uphold you." The Mother of Jesus leads us to her Son, and St. Michael defends those who seek the truth. Their mission is not to frighten the faithful, but to strengthen them. A gentle catechetical note before we go further. Public revelation, God's definitive self-communication in Jesus Christ, has been completed and handed on in sacred scripture and sacred tradition. Nothing can add to it, nothing can surpass it. Private revelations, including reports associated with Medjugorje, may help us live the gospel more fervently in a particular time and place, but they do not belong to the deposit of faith and are not binding. They always require prudent discernment with the Church. In this spirit of reverence and obedience, we will reflect together. Where the Church has not pronounced, we will not rush ahead. Where the gospel is clear, we will stand upon it. A second clarification, especially important given our title: we do not set dates. Our Lord is explicit. Of that day and hour, no one knows. Sensational predictions and calendar fixing can distract the heart from the very thing heaven asks: daily conversion, persevering prayer, and fidelity to the sacraments. The phrase exact date appears here to confront the urge to chase timelines instead of truth. Tonight, we will examine that impulse honestly, and we will exchange speculation for readiness, the only preparation heaven actually commands. If you stay through to the end, you will receive more than warnings. You will receive a plan: how to pray when the noise grows louder, how to guard your home as a little church, how to keep faith warm when many grow cold, how to choose love when fear shouts, how to recognize false lights and follow the true light. We will speak of the Rosary as a daily lifeline, of sacramentals used with faith and humility, and, above all, of the sacraments as the living center that holds a family together when everything else shakes. Take a breath. Let the soul grow quiet. Ask the Holy Spirit to illumine what is for you in these next moments. Ask St. Michael to defend your mind from confusion. Ask Mary to take your hand and lead you to her Son's heart. We begin by naming the hour, why this message comes now, and why its urgency is not about panic, but about love. Then we will look squarely at the talk of a global blackout, what it could mean spiritually, what really threatens the heart, and why the decisive choice before every soul is not between light and electricity, but between truth and false security. From there, we will map out authentic preparation, not stockpiling fear, but building a house on rock through prayer, conversion, and the sacraments. Stay with me as we enter the first part, the nature and urgency of the message. Hearts that sense the tremor of our age are not imagining it. A veil is thinning. The night air carries a summons. This word is addressed to those who feel the world tilting, who wake before dawn with a question they cannot silence. It is not curiosity that draws you, but a holy unrest. Receive it as a grace. The great protector stands at the threshold. St. Michael does not flatter or soothe. He divides truth from illusion, calls the battle by its name, and sets a guard over minds that would otherwise be scattered. He is not sent to terrify, but to steady. Where fear would drive the flock, he plants his spear and says, "Hold the line." The mother draws close with another kind of strength. She does not argue, she points. Her whole message is a gesture toward her son. Listen to him, trust him, return to him. Under her mantle, hearts become teachable, and the will learns again to kneel. She does not add noise to the noise. She creates the quiet where obedience can be born. The response must be immediate and sincere. Turn down the clamor. Name the sins that have dulled your sight. Choose the narrow honesty that opens the door to mercy. When the soul consents, hidden paths appear. Unexpected helps, sudden clarity, a courage you did not know you had. These are the small lights heaven places within reach for those who are watching. And now, because love tells the whole truth, we must face the word that circulates like a chill through the crowd, a coming darkness. Not a headline to trade, but a trial to be read with spiritual eyes. Before we rush to wires and grids, we will ask what threatens the inner lamp, what has invited it, and who profits from confusion. Only then will we understand what this blackout really means. The word blackout is more than a headline or a fault in the grid. It names a trial that reaches beneath cables and circuits to test what rules the human heart. A city without light is troubling. A conscience without light is perilous. The event many whisper about may touch machines and markets, yet its deepest field is spiritual. Night falls quickest where the lamp within is neglected. The more subtle danger is not the switch that fails, but the soul that grows dim. Fear swells, noise multiplies, confusion unsettles judgment, and faith, if untended, thins into habit. In such fog, rumors feel like truth, and anxiety becomes an interpreter of reality. Where interior light weakens, even small shadows look immense. Its roots are not random. Greed has taught us to measure everything by profit. Pride has trained us to bow only to ourselves. Power without love has arranged alliances that discard the weak and forget the giver. When God is excluded from planning and desire, breaches open. Through those openings, the ancient adversary works without haste, always patient, always dividing. The strategy is consistent: sow confusion to unmake trust, seed division to fracture families and parishes, twist public life into a tool of domination, use fear to justify control, and misinformation to drown discernment. Call coercion safety, call surrender peace. Flood the senses until silence feels threatening, then offer false lights, bright, immediate, and costly. Stand here and look steadily. If a great darkness is permitted, its purpose is to reveal what we truly rely on. The essential question now rises before every soul. What is the greater peril, darkened streets or darkened hearts? The gravest danger is not streets without lamps, but hearts without light. When faith thins, memory of God fades, charity cools, and hope collapses into a careful pessimism that calls itself realism. In such twilight, the soul begins to bargain. A little silence here, a small compromise there, and soon the inner flame is reduced to an ember that no longer guides the way. The hour is short, not by the clock, but by the weight of our choices. Delay hardens. What we postpone today becomes harder to choose tomorrow. Habit turns hesitation into chains. Grace knocks now. To answer later is to teach the heart to ignore its very rescue. The path narrows each time we defer the good we already know. Before every person stands a stark line, truth, or the comfort that lies. False security arrives with a polished smile, promising order, convenience, approval, and the anesthetic of belonging, while asking in return that conscience go quiet. It flatters our fear, rewards our fatigue, and offers a peace that tastes like surrender. This is not safety, it is a velvet captivity. Choose then with a clear mind and a steady will. Stand where your yes remains a yes and your no remains a no. Refuse the half-light of useful untruths. Let your loyalty be undivided, your speech clean, your gaze fixed on what does not pass away. Courage here is not bluster but fidelity, not noise but steadfastness. If darkness is permitted, it will reveal what we truly trust. The wise do not chase rumors, they establish their footing. The decision has been named, the soul must answer. What remains is to train the heart to watch and to stand, calmly, deeply, without panic, so that readiness is woven into the ordinary fabric of life. Preparation begins where panic ends, in a clear, steadfast heart. Keep watch over your thoughts. Refuse the quick anger that divides, the harsh word that wounds, the surrender to despair that hollows courage. Perseverance is not noise but fidelity, returning to prayer each day, however dry, and choosing to do the next good thing without theatrics. The home is the first church and the first battlefield. Guard its doors and windows, not only wood and glass, but the senses and habits that cross your threshold. Curate what enters by screens and speakers. End conversations that poison charity. Set fixed hours for silence so that peace can breathe. Establish simple patterns, morning offering, a moment of examination at night, so the soul learns to keep a lamp trimmed. Take up the rosary as a humble daily link between earth and heaven. Pray it slowly, even a single decade if that is all you can offer with love. Place it where the eye will meet it. Let the beads keep time with your steps in the kitchen or your waiting in a line. In storm or stillness, the rhythm of its mysteries steadies the heart and gathers scattered thoughts to the face of Christ. Use sacramentals of Saint Benedict with faith and discernment, as signs of consecration, never as charms. A blessed medal at the entryway, a crucifix lifted in prayer, blessed oil used reverently with a simple plea for protection. These are confessions of humility, acknowledgements that the house belongs to God and that His peace rules here. Do not postpone conversion. Name the sin, ask forgiveness, repair what you can, and simplify what entangles. A softened heart learns quickly, and as rumors multiply and easy assurances parade as wisdom, Keep this posture of watchful sobriety. It will teach you to recognize voices that serve the light and to turn away from those that trade in fog. Fearful hours reveal how thin our strength is. When systems tremble, proposals arrive dressed as rescue, tidy, reasonable, efficient. They promise order, relief from uncertainty, a swift return to normal. Yet tucked inside the fine print is a quiet exchange. The conscience is asked to step aside. What looks like prudence hardens into permission for control. What is sold as peace becomes a managed silence. Deception rarely shouts. It speaks in smooth tones, flatters fatigue, and offers shortcuts that spare us the labor of trust. It borrows holy words and drains them of their edge. It rebadges coercion as care, conformity as compassion, and fear as wisdom. The tactic is constant: soothe the crowd, isolate the stubborn, and make surrender feel virtuous. Hold the interior ground. The battle line runs through thought, word, and choice. Guard the mind. Refuse the flood that agitates without enlightening. Limit voices that trade in outrage. Keep a narrow gate for what is allowed to dwell in you. Guard the tongue. Do not echo what you do not know. Do not pass along fog. Let your speech be few, clean, and faithful. Guard the will. Do no evil to purchase a quieter life. Do not sign away truth to buy acceptance. Test every offer by its fruits. Does it deepen freedom to love, or does it demand the suspension of conscience? Does it breed courage and clarity, or dependence and haze? True help strengthens the soul to stand. False help makes standing unnecessary. If a solution requires you to hush prayer, hide belief, or bend the knee to what you know is not right, it is not a remedy but a net. Do not be hurried. Deception thrives on deadlines. Choose with a steady heart, rooted in a silence that cannot be bought, so that even in a dark hour your yes remains light. Authentic preparation is interior architecture. Begin by strengthening the soul. Go to the place of truth, name what is crooked, ask mercy, repair what can be repaired, and cut the ties that keep you obedient to what wounds grace. Simplify your promises. Make room for God to rule. Freedom returns when hidden alliances with sin are broken and the will bows without excuses. Rebuild the hearth. Gather the family to the same table of speech and silence. Recover the habit of blessing before work and rest. Read a few lines of the gospel aloud. Let petitions be simple and concrete. Teach children the language of truth and the dignity of saying no. Let elders hope out loud. Warm the cold corners, rooms where resentment lingers, devices command, and prayer is foreign, by placing there a cross, a chair, and 10 minutes of listening each day. Let the rosary be the daily cadence that keeps courage from thinning. Its steady beads train perseverance and trust when feelings fail. Use the sacramentals of Saint Benedict with reverence, as a sign that this household belongs to God, not as a charm to bend heaven to fear. Grace is welcomed by faith, not by technique. Shut the inner gates to hatred, division, lies, and indifference. Choose love over fear in decisions small and great, a forgiving word, an honest apology, a refusal to echo poison, a quiet gift to someone in need. Keep a modest rule, the Lord's Day kept holy, confession when possible, an hour of adoration when the week allows, a fast that teaches the body to obey the soul. Small, steady offerings anchor a household more surely than dramatic vows. In hidden fidelity, strength accumulates. Where such practices take root, darkness loses its leverage. Guard this warmth. Cold returns through small cracks. It begins quietly, not with scandal, but with small permissions. A prayer skipped, a harsh word unconfessed, a promise delayed because tomorrow will be better. Omission makes room for intrusion. The heart bargains with little shadows, and the little shadows learn the way in. What once stung now merely irritates. What once alarmed now amuses. Conscience, made to ring like a bell, is wrapped in cloth until it only thuds. There are signs along this slide. Evil is treated as distant, an antique word for other people's problems. The schedule grows full, yet God finds no hour in it. Choices are weighed only by usefulness, never by truth. The tongue grows quick with cynicism. Laughter turns sharp around what is holy. The eyes grow bored with beauty and hungry for noise. This is practical unbelief, not a denial with the lips, but a life paced as if heaven were closed. From such drift come predictable fruits. Confusion multiplies. The compass will not settle. Sadness seeps in even on bright days, a heaviness without a clear cause. Meaning thins, so we chase stronger flavors, more screen, more purchase, more outrage, yet the appetite returns emptier than before. Peace withdraws, sleep does not restore. Friendships fray over small things. Families share a roof, but not a life. Silence, once healing, now feels hostile. This is corrosion, not catastrophe. A slow leak that empties the vessel while it still looks upright. Naming it is mercy. Only the truth told about the wound can open space for the medicine. When the soul can finally admit, I have grown cold, I have lived as if light were optional, then a door creaks on its hinges, and a hand already waits on the other side. Conversion is a return, not a sentence. It is the sound of a door unlocking from the inside, the decision to rise and go home. The Father is not waiting with a ledger but with open arms. He wants sons and daughters, not defendants. What turns the key is honesty. I have wandered. I have grown cold. I want to begin again. That confession is not humiliation. It is freedom. Come with weakness. Bring the limp you try to hide, the habit that keeps winning, the sorrow that won't let go. Humility opens paths that force cannot find. A heart that admits its poverty becomes spacious enough for healing. Grace does not negotiate with our pride. It floods where the ground is low. Let tears do their quiet work. They wash the eyes until you can see the way home. Choose whom you will serve. Break agreements with lies, with bitterness, with counterfeit comforts that promise rest and deliver chains. Cast off what offends grace. Delete, discard, distance, and when needed, make restitution. Rebuild on what endures. Truth that does not bend, love that does not use, fidelity that does not quit. Start small and keep faith with the small, an apology offered, a debt repaid, a bridge of reconciliation rebuilt plank by plank. Habits form a sanctuary. Let your yes become a place where God is pleased to dwell. Do not make despair your counselor. No life is lost that still listens. Mercy is always taller than your story, wider than your failure, quicker than your fear. The fall you think defines you can become the place where gratitude begins. Accept a new name, not from shame, but from the one who calls the dead to rise. And as the heart returns, it will need anchors to hold the new beginning steady, the holy rhythms by which a household learns to breathe in grace and stand when the winds return. Make the house a sanctuary where grace is not an ornament but the air you breathe. Place the sacraments at the heart of your rhythm so that the table and the doorway, the rising and the resting, all learn to lean toward God. They are not memories, they are living fire. Let the Eucharist be your strength against fear. Approach with hunger and reverence, adore with stillness. From this bread, courage is baked into ordinary hours, and storms meet a heart already held fast. Let your calendar bend around worship, not worship around your calendar. Seal the breaches with confession. Speak the truth without embroidery. Receive absolution like fresh light and repair what was harmed. Where sins are named and forgiven, the enemy loses his footholds and peace returns to the threshold of the mind. Guard unity through marriage lived as covenant. Keep fidelity not only in crisis but in the small daily choices, gentle words, mutual sacrifice, decisions made in prayer. A faithful bond becomes a wall around the children and a witness to neighbors who have forgotten what promise means. Remember baptism as the mark of belonging. Bless your children with the sign traced on their brow. Remind them whose name they carry. Teach them to renounce what darkens the soul and to claim their dignity as sons and daughters who are not for sale. These are not empty rites. They demand conversion, forgiveness offered and received, sin rejected, and a steady formation of the young. Establish simple practices. Sunday kept holy, a family exam by lamplight, a psalm before sleep, questions that let truth be spoken without fear. Where such rhythms take root, a household grows quiet and brave. Anchored here, minds are not easily swayed by noise, and hearts do not barter away what is sacred when lesser lights begin to flicker. Even houses rooted in grace will be tested by a darkness that others will try to weaponize. When fear swells, voices will arise promising swift order, guaranteed safety, and a life without risk. If only conscience will grow quiet, control will be dressed as care, surveillance as protection, obedience to shifting rules as the price of peace. The goal is not your love, but your surrender, to make good people choose comfort over truth and call it wisdom. This is how the spirit of deception works, less by brute force than by seduction. It studies fatigue, exploits loneliness, and whispers that unity requires silence about what is holy. It offers an antiseptic order that removes the cross from the room and then demands applause. Where the inner lamp is dim, any glow will do. Where roots are shallow, even passing sparks seem sufficient. Hearts untethered drift toward the nearest light, no matter who holds the switch. Stand then, with a loyalty that cannot be bought. Refuse bargains that trade integrity for calm. Keep your anchor where storms cannot reach. A clean confession, a forgiven grievance, a generous alms, a hidden hour of intercession for those who stumble. Readiness is not a calendar, it is a state of soul. Watchfulness is not rumor chasing, it is a mind made clear by prayer and a will strengthened by small repeated obediences. Do not hunt for dates, sanctify the day in your hands. If darkness is permitted, let it find you already reconciled, already merciful, already faithful to the duties of your state in life. In such households, the night can press, but it cannot rule. Strength is forged before the storm. Decide now that your house will stand when systems falter, not by cleverness, but by grace. Build on the rock through small, steady obediences. Morning offered to God, work done honestly, speech guarded from bitterness, the day closed with gratitude. These are not decorations, they are foundations. When pressure comes, A life arranged around what is holy does not scatter. Do not be drawn into the theater of threats. Noise will swell to shake resolve, but the Lord sustains in a silence the world cannot counterfeit. Make room for that silence. Turn off the voices that feed panic. Open the space where God can breathe in you. In quiet, courage returns. In quiet, discernment sharpens. In quiet, the heart remembers whose it is. Consecrate your home again. Bless the thresholds, lift the crucifix, speak a simple prayer at the table. Keep fidelity even when it costs ease. Keep truth even when it costs applause. Compromise promises relief, then asks for more. Integrity may feel narrow, yet it becomes a wide place for the soul. Choose hope's calm, steady, watchful, unafraid. Hope is not naive. It is a virtue that refuses to hand tomorrow to fear. Heaven draws near where hearts are faithful. Expect help. Ask for angels. Look for the quiet provisions that arrive just when needed. A word, a friend, a way opened. Hold fast to the duties of your state with a willing spirit. Let your home be lighted from within, so that even if the night deepens, those who enter find warmth and direction. Stand and keep standing. Let us choose today what kind of house we will be. Strengthen the heart, strengthen the home. Return to prayer without delay. Return to the sacraments with hunger and reverence. Let truth be spoken in love at the table and in the doorway. Let mercy govern your decisions. Let justice and kindness walk with you into ordinary hours. This is not a strategy of fear. It is the simple path that steadies a soul and shelters a family. Be the flame that refuses to go out. When others grow cold, keep faith warm. When hope thins, guard it like treasure. When love is mocked as weakness, practice it as strength. A single lamp breaks a room of gloom. A single household at peace heartens a street. A praying community can lift a city. Do not walk alone. Share what you have received. Gather intentions. Intercede for the sick, the poor, the wandering, and those in authority. Bind households together in prayer chains and quiet acts of help. Become a circle of watchfulness for families and nations, not with noise, but with fidelity that does not tire. Take courage. There is still time, still mercy, still hope. Doors are open to all who turn back. The compassion that kept you through lesser nights will keep you when shadows lengthen. Heaven does not abandon the persevering. Grace meets those who keep standing. One last clarity of conscience. We do not chase calendars or set dates. Readiness is not a clock, it is a way of living. Rise each day in grace, end each night in gratitude. If a deep darkness is permitted, let it find you already reconciled, already generous, already steadfast. And may your home, lighted from within, guide many safely through the night.